All right, everyone, this is Tim of the Online Big Blue, bringing you the best in New York Giants sports talk and entertainment. Oh, it's the day after the loss. It's Friday. Oh, yikes. It was a long day. It was a long night. It was a long game. I mean, you had the highs, you had the lows, you had the good, the bad. You had Daniel Jones performing in a way that you would hope that he would perform. It was a debacle at the end. Do you sit there and blame Dexter Lawrence for this game? I know a lot of people like to blame Lamar Jackson when he had that issue with that fumble. And this is one of those times that if you want to point the finger who actually lost you the game, you can actually kind of point the finger at who that person's going to be. And in some ways, you got to think it's number 97. But to me, the full responsibility of this debacle falls on the coaching staff. Joe Judge, I'm preaching discipline. You're going to run laps for making dumb mistakes. You're going to go out there and we're going to show this team that we work harder than them and we're going to smash ball football. All the other cliches you can think of. And he's got sometimes one of the most undisciplined teams that we've seen in recent history. You can't blame this game on Daniel Jones. You really can't. Daniel Jones did what he was supposed to do. He didn't take the shots deep, but that's okay. He still took the shots in the intermediate part of the field. Even Troy Aikman said he had some guys deep and he went with the checkdown. He went with the checkdowns instead, which is fine because you know what? He moved the ball. He scored 29 points. And I said it yesterday. You score 29 points, you have a feeling that you are going to win the game. Kind of a simple procedure. You score 29, you win the game. Because you got a defense that is supposed to be a top 5 defense. Poor James Bradbury is just having a year. He's getting picked on. He's getting picked on like a kid in school. He's Elvis Patterson right now. Terry McLaurin ate his lunch and took his lunch money for the entire week. McLaurin was targeted 14 times complete and had 11 receptions. That's not good. And you can't sit there and preach discipline and have 2 penalties on your new center. I know a lot of people are going to want to be like, well, we're going to blame Daniel Jones. You can't blame Daniel Jones. The Daniel Jones haters are going to blame Daniel Jones, but the kid played well. He played well. You know what? If he could play that way regularly, we would probably have an opportunity to win more games. Plain and simple. The line, I was actually very surprised about the line itself. The line had the ability, especially in the second half, to hold up to the rush. And again, you can't blame Darius Slayton. The ball was overthrown. The ball was overthrown. You cannot blame Darius Slayton. You have to start at the head coach. Everyone last week wanted to blame Jason Garrett. Everything's Jason Garrett's fault. We got to fire Jason Garrett. No, well, okay, we're gonna do everything's Joe Judge's fault. We got to fire Joe Judge. Because this was his debacle because this is his team. It starts with the head coach and it ends with the head coach. That's the way you got to look at it. Poor Nick Gates looks like he's going to be out for the year. He's got that fracture. That's a shame because you know what? He finally got moved back to the guard position. I was actually very excited for him to move back to the guard position. I thought he was an average center. I thought he could be above average guard. And to have that happen on a play where he basically gets his leg rolled up under, I had to watch it. I record all the games, so I did have to go back and watch it. And he's gonna be done for the year, and hopefully he can come back next year as well. Because that was a bad break. That was a bad break, literally, and I'm not trying to make a joke of it. But this team needs to figure it out. Everything that we preached about on this channel for how long is coming true with the defense. We have no edge. We cannot generate a pass rush from the edge whatsoever. We had 1 sack from Ojulari, and then he disappeared for the rest of the game. Teams understand now you can just take it over left tackle, right tackle, and then bust it up the gut because there's no Dalvin Tomlinson. If you don't think this team misses Dalvin Tomlinson right now, you're not watching the same sport that I am. Because Dalvin Tomlinson is more than needed on this team. 100%. 100% they need Dalvin Tomlinson because Austin Johnson and Danny Shelton are not doing dookie. I was going to curse. I try not to curse, but I was going to curse. This team needs to figure out a way, and this team needs to step it up, because you know what? When the offense actually clicked and they actually ran a pretty good game plan, it was the defense that was leaking like a sieve. We had a hole in the boat, and Patrick Graham could not find a way to plug it. Patrick Graham is supposed to be the next genius head coach. Well, you know what? The league is figuring him out pretty quick in 2 weeks. And I said this just the other day. If we do not win this game, we could potentially go 1-9 if you look at the Giants' schedule. And this wasn't just a bad loss. This was a demoralizing loss. This is not. I thank some ways. I'm not thankful that we have to wait as long as we do to play again, because the fact that this could sit with you and this could fester with a team. And I don't know if Joe Judge can rally his troops. Because when you have a bad loss like this, you look to the head coach. And right now, I am looking at a 6-13 head coach. And the Washington Redskin Washington football team was always our fail-safe, was always the team we could beat. Now we didn't beat them. If we lose to the Falcons, Lordy, I don't know what to say then. And I've said this now 100 times, you cannot be a disciplinarian and preach discipline and then lose a game like this. Lose a game like this. You can't. If anything, this could propel Washington to the division. Because how do you let Tyler Heineke beat you? And everyone knows that the Washington starting running back used to be a wide receiver. And he still ran for 60-something yards. This is not a good disciplined team right now. It's just in our and this soft shell zone stuff. Just stop. The league has figured it out, Patrick. Just drop the tight end in the middle of the field. Because when you're dropping your two safeties deep, that's going to happen. It was nice to see Saquon Barkley pick up 57 yards on that big play. But I am just at the wit's end with this team right now. Really am. You get one component of the team working well, such as the offense. The offensive line played at times, except for the two false starts one on Solder and one on Thomas. They played well. Daniel Jones did not turn over the ball. I'm not going to sit there and tell you he had a wonderful game like everyone else is going to tell you, because he didn't. He missed some guys. The Darius Slayton was an overthrow. He went short and checked down a lot, which is fine, which I don't have a problem with that, because you know what? He kept the team moving. And he ran the ball well. He gave us 2 touchdowns and scored 29 points. You should win this game, especially with the defense that we are supposed to have. But we didn't. And this all falls squarely on the head coach. Not going to sugarcoat it. Not even going to try to sugarcoat it. I'm not even going to Splendicoat it. This team needs to look in the mirror. It needs a reality check. It's not put together well right now in the defense. How bad is it that you miss Isaac Yiadom? Isaac Yiadom, for all of his faults, was a better rusher than Darnay Holmes. I want to get a bus ticket to get Isaac Yiadom back. Because old Josh, he made one practice. Good news is Joe Judge did not throw the red flag at the wrong time. I think it was a joke that Jason Garrett took all the red flags away from him before the game started. Dom told me that. Is this the end of the season for us? No, because, you still have 15 games. But this is a bad way to start. This is going to leave a bad taste in fans' mouths. You let this team basically, with one timeout, march down the field, get into field goal range, stop them. He misses it, and then you get a penalty. This was a bad game played on both sides of the ball. Neither team, in my mind, played very disciplined games. But this falls more as it falls on Dexter Lawrence. This falls more on the coaching himself, the head coach himself. Figure it out, Joe. You got to figure out how to win these games. NFL coaches win games. They win these close games. The coaches, and I know for 100% the coaches call the plays, the players need to execute, but you know what? At the end of the day, you cannot preach discipline and then have an undisciplined team. But like I said, there were highlights. Daniel Jones played well. Saquon Barkley came back on that nice big run. The offensive line seemed to kind of gel together at times. We need to figure out the pass rush situation, guys. We need to figure it out. Because if we don't generate some kind of rush from the edge, and if we don't learn to hold the run off the edge, this is going to be a long season. Malik Willis, this could be a long season. And we need to figure it out, and we need to figure it out soon. And again, this is Tim with Online Big Blue, bringing you the best in New York Giants sports talk and entertainment. And as always, if you could if you subscribe, ring the play thing in the means, that'd be awesome.